Hi everyone. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, and had another day at school. Mostly just prep on classes and was going through a lot more into the booklets I have and some PDFs I have to see kind of what I'm going to be doing that like first week or first 2 weeks, or what are these topics, especially for the coming up, what's likely to be the first topics in the CNED, especially if I know that I've already taught those classes from last year. It's where the students, the older students that we had last year that are moving into a class that we didn't have last year. That means that that's a bit more of a guessing game, and then officially some of that material will be available September 1st, but online you can find a couple things, but that's not 100% guarantee what that will be. And then also going through the for the music um, uh, and the art. So even though there's three classes, but there's actually four levels of like sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So uh, I actually need to get the four topics there, and um, so I need to be able to prepare and recognize, like, okay, even though I have that one group that's like seventh, eighth, I need to have something. What do they each need to be working on, or this session they work on this, that session they work on this, or I need to make sure that they do this before we get to the class session. So those are a couple things to be aware of, looking at the schedule and having like a Google Doc so I can stay organized. And once I get the ball rolling, um, things hopefully will be manageable. And also, we are starting with the CNED since the beginning, September 1st. Last year, we had about 4 weeks before we got to the access, and then also setting up email. And so there were a couple of weeks where we kind of transitioned to the new school and that. But this one, I want to make sure we stay on schedule. And I didn't have any issues last year with the scheduling. I think I was like one of the only one who was comfortably finishing those exams. But still, I recognized at the end of the year the students were kind of getting a bit stressed out because there was um, a constant rhythm of exams at the end. So yeah, and I think there were comments from the parents as well, so we can kind of space out appropriately between September, October, November, and get to December and have a course load of like about three or four exams. About, yeah, three exams, maybe in the middle section about four, and then three. So it's not overwhelming. And also talking with some of the other teachers, especially like the history, and recognizing like, okay, in the music, I'm going to be talking about Versailles and Louis XIV, and then when do they start talking about that in the history class? Oh, not until they're in high school. Like, oh, okay, but I have them in middle school. Oh, well, and that section they're doing Middle Ages still. But in literature, in French literature, yes, they've talked about Moliere. So there's some kind of gaps in what they have an understanding, and that means there's room for opportunity in the classroom to really put a clear timeline of like what are these artistic movements and art, what's going on, and music, what's going on in history, what are some of these major moments, or some of the royalty, and so they can kind of make sense of this and not just it's all a big mess or something. So that's something to coordinate with the other teachers and make sure like how we're dividing up some of these periods, or and I'm recognizing some of the topics where like it mentions like, 20th century music. I mean, that's 100 years. And also there's all these technological innovations going on. So yeah, you do get, you know, Debussy, the Impressionism and the art movement, and then you get some of the whole tone music. Then you get Schoenberg with the 12-tone system, and you get kind of just random kind of music or just no music kind of a thing of John Cage. So you can get some real extremes throughout that time period. And then changes the technology, like listening to the radio, so people don't have to actually go to a concert hall to hear a piece of music. Then you get access to records and things. So everything that technology is advancing, music is also kind of getting a bit chaotic in the early 20th century, especially before World War One and World War Two. But I can't. I had at least a semester or two of all that at the university, and really going into detail and all that and understanding this stuff. But for this age where they're not musicians and it's just a little bit of like a sip of music appreciation. Or they're approaching it like they're informed, they can hear something, they can like analyze it just as a, what do I hear, what instruments do I hear, what form do I hear, what kind of textures am I hearing, I don't know, tempo and dynamics and things. So like on the surface, what are some observations? And even as a musician, when I was at university, I still kind of heard stuff as just a wash of sound or just colors and things. But I could go in specifics and hear the line of an individual instrument and hear what was the string section doing. Yet when I got to university in Paris, their ear training was even much more demanding. So that was overwhelming for me, even having just done a bachelor's degree in music in the U.S. and then studied musicology in Paris. So I recognize that in the French system they can be very very detailed, very specific, very analytical, their critical thinking skills, which I appreciate. I do actually value that quite a lot. So trying to get them as listeners and following the what's expected of them, and also similarly what's expected of them in the art kind of appreciation and theory practice, and not just let them be kind of discovering it on their own or with no guidance. So I want to give them some guidance and kind of discover this along with them. So those are a couple things for continuing to get the classes ready for the beginning of next week. But the majority of my teaching, 16 hours, is English. And as an English speaker and teacher for 25 years, that I have no stress on. And it's just a matter of kind of, okay, I've taught the 6th and the 5th and the 4th. I already did those 3 levels. Just get the ball rolling for those students. And then the 9th grade, that's going to be a new level for these ones. That's going to be, that one. And from there, just, get the ball rolling. But enjoy the process and try to connect with these students and connect with the groups. I already know the 6th graders who were in 5th grade last year. I already taught them. So now I can just focus on them, because last year there was a mixed group of 5th and 4th graders. So now I can really just focus on their needs as that group. And I already know the 7th graders who they were the 6th graders last year. There is I know I know the eighth grader who, I mean, he was in seventh grade last year, so that's one or two eighth graders. And then the ninth graders, they were the eighth graders from last year. So, yeah, technically I know all the students except for like about 4 or 5 new students at the school. But yeah, I know all these groups, and then also the 11th graders who were in 10th grade last year. Um, so that'll be, yeah, I know all of them. It's just a matter of presenting the material, and technically, there's the students. They should be doing more of the work than me. I'm hopefully facilitating this for them, but they, yeah, hopefully they will be kind of showing an interest in their education this year. Hola a todos, hoy es miércoles, es el 26 de agosto y hoy seguimos preparando cosas. Yo estaba leyendo muchas cosas en los manuales, sobre todo como educación musical, arte, plástica y plástico, y también unas cosas de inglés para tener una idea de cuáles temas vamos a ver al inicio, y para iniciar, y luego ya que hay un ritmo, yo creo que voy a sentirme cómodo con el programa. Y más o menos es eso, de tener las cosas, los temas, y por mucho contenido, no forzosamente estoy inventando lo que vamos a ver. Es como facilitarlo, y eso es ya es menos estrés, espero. Bonjour tout le monde, aujourd'hui c'est mercredi, c'est le 26 août, et aujourd'hui je continue à préparer pour la première semaine, et surtout voir un peu dans des cahiers, des livres, pour au moins voir le premier thème qu'on va avoir dans le début du trimestre. Et à partir de ça, je crois que je peux être plus à l'aise pour mettre le rythme en place et être à l'écoute pour guider ses élèves. Il y a vraiment les arts et les mouvements dans la musique, qu'est-ce qu'ils doivent connaître, apprendre, revoir, et ouais, pour les guider. Voilà, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. Hallo an alle, heute ist der Mittwoch, der 26. August, und heute habe ich weiterhin meine Stunde vorbereitet. Es bedeutet, dass was ist das erste Thema für diese 2-3 Wochen, und danach wir können weiterhalten mit diesem Rhythmus, und ich hoffe, dass es wird ohne Stress sein, und ja, für Kunst, für Musik und für Englisch. Und das ist alle für heute. Ciao a tutti, oggi è mercoledì 26 agosto, e ho continuato a preparare le lezioni soprattutto per conoscere cosa dobbiamo imparare nella prima settimana, prime 2 settimane, e con musica, con arte, con inglese non c'è problema per insegnare, spiegare e dare spiegazione, ma devo sapere quando ci sono esami e no calendario, per esempio, e con questo tempo, per esempio 3 settimane, e dopo questo c'è un primo esame e spero che questo è senza stress. Questo è tutto per oggi. Всем привет, сегодня среда, это 26 августа, и сегодня я продолжал готовить уроки и знать лучше, что мы делаем первой недели и 3 недели, и потом, может быть, первый экзамен. И у меня больше уроки на английском, чем для музыки и для искусства. И надеюсь, что это значит, что это будет без стресса. И это все на сегодня. Большое спасибо. Пока.